Hello, my name is Io Williams. I'm a personal trainer and strength and conditioning specialist. I help people achieve long-term fat loss goals through remote training and nutrition coaching, which makes it easy for you to lose the fat, keep it off, and stay in the shape you'd like to without it taking over your life. I also help people achieve their running goals, and that involves, again, remote training and nutrition coaching, but looking at not only the amount of running you're doing, but the strength and mobility training you're doing alongside that to keep you injury-free and get you to the start line as well as the finish line injury-free. Now, specifically today, I'd like to talk about what you can do to maintain your strength and mobility whilst at home during lockdown. Now, lockdown has come. It was savage in March, and it may well come back in some guise over the next few months over winter. Now, there are a number of things that you can do regarding your strength and mobility to keep them at the level they're at, or even improve them without too much fuss, without any equipment, and without taking up too much time of your day. I'd like to talk about some of those things here, and I'm going to demonstrate all of them so you can actually have a look at what I'm doing, replicate them as best you can, and maybe add them into your day to get some of the benefits that I'm talking about. Now, benefits of strength, benefits of mobility, benefits of staying fit and healthy. I won't go into that too much because they're clear. The stronger you are, the less likely you are to get injured. The more mobile you are, the less likely you are to get aches and pains and stiffness. And the fitter you are, the more chance you'll have of fighting off any ailments or illnesses as they arrive. Before I start the demonstrations, a quick word about mobility and strength. Now, mobility is not about turning you into a gymnast or trying to replicate a funky move you may have seen on social media. Mobility is about increasing your ability to move without restriction through space. It's about making the most of what you've got in terms of staying pain-free and ailment-free. It's about making sure that your joints stay supple enough as you age and as you go through your day, that you don't get aches and pains towards the end of the day caused by the joint being in an incorrect position. That's all mobility is. And all of the movements I'm going to show you today are in favour of those things, trying to restore normal function and keep you pain-free. Regarding strength, there's a saying that says everything is better when you're stronger. Again, strength isn't about lifting heavy loads from A to B. It's about the ability of your body to do what it needs to do throughout your normal day without getting injured or without getting strained. So if we can get your body to move against itself through space, if we can get your body used to moving a light load at a different angle without feeling tweaks or twinges, then we've improved your strength up to a level where it might just help you stay injury-free down the line. And that's all it is, improving your mobility and your strength up to a level where they can keep you well. So here are the movements. There are 5 of them. If you could do each of them for about a minute, that's 5 minutes work to start with. As you get better at them, 2 minutes will do, making this a 10-minute workout specifically focusing on your mobility. Let's get to it. First one is called a squat to stand. So choose a space where you're not likely to bump into anything. Now, done perfectly, you'd simply drop down, grab your toes. This is called the squat position. Keeping hold of your toes, you straighten your legs into a stand. So you squat to stand. And this is a great mobilizer for your hamstrings going down the back of your legs. Now, if that is too difficult, what you can do is simply pick a different part of your leg. Mid-shin. Again, drop down and then push the legs back. Drop down and push the legs back like so. Again, if that's too difficult, grab just below the knee drop down, and push legs back. Now it's important to note that the important part here is this bit there, where you straighten the legs, getting that stretch in the back of the legs. So it doesn't matter where you grab, whether it's the knee, just under the knee, mid-shin, or toe. Wherever you grab, drop down, bend the knees, and then push the legs into a straight position. So you take the stretch off, you bring the stretch on. Keep your fingers glued, stuck to the same point on your shin. You bend and you extend. You bend and you extend. I'll do it again my way, where you grab the toes, you drop down and you extend. Now believe it or not that long ago I was unable to do this at all, and just by continually doing it every day I've got to a point where I can actually do the fuller movement of dropping down and straightening the legs and getting a nice deep stretch in there. That's the squat to stand. Okay, again, 1 minute's worth and that will be enough, and you'll start to feel this opening up here. The second movement is called a Spider-Man, and this is a great mobilizer for your hips. So, into this position on all fours, push the knees off the floor, and bring your foot up alongside and land it there. Put it back, and land it there. Called a Spider-Man because if you look at my body from over there, it looks like Spider-Man is walking up the side of a building. Land with the foot flat, put it back, land with the foot flat, and bring it back. And you can feel all the hips opening up nicely. The third mobilizer is called a cat to camel. This is called the camel position. You arch your back as best you can. Really push those vertebrae up to the ceiling. Hold them there, hold them there, hold them there. Good 15 seconds. And then push down, arching the back the other way. Look up to the sky and getting that curve. There we are. So you're really pushing your tummy down, looking up, doing the opposite with the spine. Up we go again. Arch the back. Hold, hold, hold. And we reverse. There we are. Here comes number 3. And on the third one, normally, you can start to feel things opening up slightly. Again, take your time with this, there's no rush. You should start to feel it opening up just through the lower back, through the centre of the back. Really arch it as much as you can. Look down, look towards your belly button. And then push down, like so. Nice and gently. Here comes number 4. Up you go. Arch that back. Push down. And up we go. Arch that back. Like so. Perfect. That is a cat to camel. Good mobilizer for your spine. Half kneeling hip flexor stretch. Now this is a good one. This is the half kneeling position. We're going to stretch out your hip flexor. Now this is a good stretch because as you sit at your desk, as we all do, your hamstrings are in a shortened position, but your hip flexors, just in here, are in a very short position. So if we can get into this position as part of a mobilizer and simply lean forward and come back, and lean forward and back ever so gently, not aggressively, what you'll feel is this area here start to open up. It's called a half kneeling hip flexor stretch. You should be able to feel it anywhere from just above the hip, all the way down through the hip, across the bone, and into your thigh here. And you're just mobilizing it. It's a mobilizer because we keep the movement going. We're not holding a stretch where we hold a static position. We're mobilizing. We're taking the stretch on, and then we're taking it off. And again, I can now feel that opening up slightly. If you find this too easy, or it's a very, very mild stretch, simply put your arm into it by rising your arm as you go forward, like so. It's called a half kneeling hip flexor stretch. There we are. And now I'm feeling stretch all the way down, from there all the way up to there, really opening up. And I like this one. Really feel like you're opening up there. We're going to change sides, because I like a bit of balance. There we are. Okay, again, start like so. There we are. Pick a nice soft surface for this one. If you've got a mat, that's great. Nice bit of carpet with underlay works. Not a hard floor, because your knees will suffer. If you haven't got any of those things, a cushion is absolutely fine. Just make sure your knee is not in contact with a hard surface, because that's not the idea. There we are. Just opening up that hip nicely. Couple more. Demonstration purposes. Perfect. Lovely. Okay. Number 5, the last mobilization I'd like you to do as part of this routine is called a side lying windmill. And this is to open up your chest. Again, an area of the body which is often left tight by modern living. So lie on your side, one hand there on top of the other, and simply keeping your eyes on your hand, follow the hand as it goes around. And then come back. Same again. And you should feel your chest opening up. Like so. There we are. If you're feeling it in your neck, simply grab a pillow or cushion to support your head. That'll do nicely. And away you go. And now I no longer have to hold my head up. I can just relax into this, and that's much better. There's an option for you. Follow the hand with the eyes. You don't have to get your fingers to the floor. Just go as far as your chest allows. If it's there and you're feeling a stretch, that's fine. Come back. If you can go all the way, absolutely fine. If you notice, I'm keeping my knees together. Okay? If you have to do that to the stretch, it means you're cheating. Stop it. Keep your knees together and go as far as your chest allows without any of that business. Keep your knees together, open up, and come back like so. So knees together, eyes on the hand, and come back. You get the idea. I'm going to do the other side, not because you need to see me do the other side, but because I'd like to do the other side. Okay, like a bit of balance. There we are, eyes on the hand, and away we go. Actually, there is a purpose in me showing you the other side, to show you that we are not necessarily symmetrical. And you will see, if you're looking closely, that this side is not quite as mobile on me as the other one. We're not symmetrical. Everyone assumes that everything should be the same on both sides. We are not symmetrical. You are not broken if one side is more mobile than the other. Do what your body allows. Listen to your body, go as far as it will let you, and then come back. That's absolutely fine. Do what you can. We're not keeping score here. That's it for the mobilisations for now. Now those five moves I've put together because they cover a lot of the areas which will become tight from lockdown living, as I call it, and that is increased time in a seated position, increased time at a desk which isn't optimum, perhaps less time walking around, and perhaps less calorific spend, which I'll come to later on in this webinar. Those 5 movements, go through them once, go through them again, go through them one more time for a total of maximum 15 minutes, and you will start to feel a little bit more lithe and supple if you can keep those going for any period of days or weeks. Moving on to the strength movements. Now, these 5 movements I've chosen challenge a lot of the major muscle groups in the body. These movements are likely or more likely to get your heart rate up and a little bit more challenging. Now, you can use implements to increase the load, but I'm going to demonstrate them equipment free because they are effective. You just need to pick your level. If you find them too easy, add a load or contact me to find out how you can increase the difficulty safely. And with that, let's get into it. Now, the first one is called a super fast squat. The idea is to challenge the muscles of your thighs, specifically the quadriceps. What we're going to do is stand with the feet shoulder width apart, put the hands together and simply squat down and drive up again at a pace at around about 1 per second, called a super fast squat. Now, here are the specifics. I'm keeping my heels down and my toes slightly up. I'm dropping my bum straight down and I'm attempting to keep my knees back so they're not going too far over my toes. And again, you're doing this for about a minute. Eyes front, slightly down, bum going backwards. We carry on. Now, by now, I'm feeling this on tops of my thighs, the quadriceps there, and you're just working through these big muscles at the front of your legs and challenging them. Super fast squat. There we are. Now, you might feel your shoulders come in slightly. Do the opposite of a shrug. This is a shrug. I want you to do the opposite. Pull the shoulders down and together and keep that position with the shoulder blades locked down for the duration of the movement. Simple as that. Give yourself a minute's worth of that, and that's plenty to feel it in there. That's a super fast squat. The second strength movement is a pledge plank. This, to start with, let's do a normal plank, and that involves getting into a flat position like so, where your elbows are on the floor, your forearms on the floor. Lift the knees off, and that's a plank. Now, if you look, you should be able to draw a straight line from the top of my head through to my heels. In other words, your bum isn't up here or sagging down there. Everything's in a straight line, and you should be able to feel it in your midsection. Now, a pledge plank is slightly different, because what I want you to do is I want you to reach up and touch your shoulder. And then the other one. And then the other one. Just for 10. And this is far more demanding than a normal plank. And it's something I'd like you to build up to. So, first of all, hold the plank. Good 30 seconds will be fine. No longer than that. And once you've mastered that, simply take the weight onto one side, touch your shoulder, come back, touch your shoulder, come back. And that's a great exercise for that midsection here, teaching you stability and strength, which is what you need in this area as opposed to crunches. Third strength movement is a deadlift. Now, this is one which is going to challenge your hamstrings at the back of your legs. Hold an imaginary weight. You don't need a weight, but you can add one if you can feel nothing at all. And simply hinge at the hip, keeping the knees relatively straight, and drive up, like so. So you're bending down, feel a stretch in there, and drive up. Down and up. There we are. So you hinge and Drive up, there we are. Now you notice I'm picking my toes up, just to make sure that my weight is going back through the heels. You can put them down if you like. There we are. As long as nothing's coming forward, you're fine. So bum backwards, lean forward, keep the back straight, feel a stretch, and drive up fast. Again, there's no weight on this. As long as you can feel a stretch in here, you're doing some good. And you're training this action, which is oft neglected, the ability to hinge at the hip and drive up using your glutes and your hamstrings, like so. As I say, you can add weight on implement. Simply pick anything to hand. An encyclopedia, a large book. I happen to have an 8-kilogram kettlebell because I'm in a gym. Again, start with the weight between the feet. If that was an encyclopedia or a large book, I'd simply hinge there, back is together, drive up and ease down, like so. As long as you can feel a stretch in the back of your legs, as long as you're hinging at the hip with minimal knee bend, as long as your back is straight, you're doing okay. We're training the glutes and the hamstrings at the back of the legs, which are opposite to the muscles we trained with the squat we did earlier. Like so. Squeeze the glutes into it. Squeeze the glutes into it. Without the weight, same action. And that is your deadlift. The fourth strength move is a wall angel. So we need a wall, like so. If you stand with your heels slightly off the wall, put your upper back and your hips on the wall and simply reach up and see if you can get your elbows or the back of your hands on the wall. If you can't, no problem. Anywhere there is fine, but ideally, everything on the wall. From there, slide your arms up to straight and then bring them back down again, doing your best to keep everything in contact with the wall. Now, your upper back should stay on the wall, your hips can come away by about 1 inch or 2, and the feet are away from the wall. And we're sliding up and down. Again, it doesn't matter the range you're doing here. It could be from there to there, it could be there to there. As long as you're pulling everything back and doing your best to get as close to this as you can, you're doing some good. You're activating the muscles between your scapula, between your shoulder blades. You're turning them on. You're persuading them to pull backwards, which is the opposite of being at your desk and typing like so. You're opening everything up again, and you're training that movement. It's a wall angel. Heels away from the wall. Hips away from the wall by 1 inch. Upper back on the wall. Slide up. Slide down. 10 of these is enough. You'll find that quite demanding in the shoulders. After you've done 10, pause, come away, shake it loose, go round again, and when you come back, you can do your other 10. That's your wall angel. The fifth movement is called a prone Y raise. Called a Y because the body ends up in a position of the letter Y. So you lie down in a prone position, like so. You form the letter Y, like so, and you simply rise up to there. Hold, and come back again. And this is working the muscles of your lower back. Five is enough here. 4. And 5. So, just to recap, you've got your mobilisations, which are your squat to stand, your Spider-Man, your cat and camel, your half-kneeling hip flexor stretch, and your side-lying windmill. Go through them all in sequence, pause, go through them again, and if you're feeling fit and well, go through them a third time for a total of 15 minutes. I'd recommend starting gently and going through them once and building up, and I'd recommend going up to a point where you can do them for 15 minutes per day as a start to your day after getting out of bed. Daily mobilisations they become, and it will really stand you in good stead for the rest of your day and help reset the body. With the strength moves, you've got your super fast squat, you've got your pledge plank, you've got your deadlift, there's the wall angel and the prone Y raise. Again, go through them in sequence, looking to keep the workout to no longer than 15 minutes. Again, if you're going to do them on the same day as your daily mobilisations, do them after your daily mobilisations for a total of 15 minutes or half an hour if you're doing them both together. Contact me if you'd like to progress those exercises or add load to keep the strength gains coming once you've got to a certain level. I think you'll start to feel the benefits after a week, after just a week, and that'll be fine. Quite a few people have come to me during the pandemic with the complaint that they've gained weight over the last few months because of the change of habit and routine. Perhaps their eating habits have changed because of the new way of life. Perhaps they're exercising less or moving around more, and thus their weight has gone up. So I'd like to briefly touch on 4 things you can do right now to help you with that if that's you. I won't go into too much detail here because I've only got a short amount of time, so I'll just touch on them. If you want to know more, do please get in touch and we can start to really try and get these into the way that you do things. The first one is to eat slowly, and it sounds really simple, but it's a really, really powerful thing that you can do to take control of the amount you're eating. A lot of diet plans focus on what you're eating, but as important is how you're eating. If you eat slowly, you're generally more mindful of what you're eating. If you eat slowly, you give your body a chance to tell you when you're full. If you eat slowly, it's far more difficult to overeat. If you eat slowly, you tend to appreciate the flavours more, and you tend to focus on more natural and whole foods. The range of benefits from eating slowly are massive and will really help if you want to slow down any potential weight gain that you're currently experiencing. The second point is to try and replace any of the walking that the pandemic has robbed of you. If you had a commute and you had any amount of walking during the day, that could easily be up to 5,000 steps just wiped off your daily day, for want of a better phrase. Now, over a period of months, that adds up to several calories you're just not burning. And even if you kept everything else the same and everything else was equal, that would amount to a little bit of weight gain. So is there any way that you can actually replace the walk that you were doing back when you were leaving the house to go somewhere? Is there any way that you can actually walk for the sake of walking? Is there anything you can do to move for the sake of moving? Hopefully the exercises that I've demonstrated over the last 20 minutes will help with that. But if you can, find a way to get a walk of some description into your day. It will have massive benefits. You won't see it overnight, but over a period of months, that really makes a difference to your general overall feeling of well-being, and of course keeping your weight down at a level where you'd like it to stay. The third thing is snacking. Now, it's a period of doom and gloom, and a period of, the nights are closing in now. So snacking, and it's a period of mince pies as well. I do love mince pie. But snacking, if it's in your house, it's going to get eaten. So think about that when you choose what you're going to have as a treat in your house. If there are loads of them, they're only going to go one place. So choose healthy snacks as well as the things that you really lean towards, so that you don't always have to go for the 250 calorie mince pie when you fancy something to nibble. I speak from experience. I do have a weakness for mince pies, and they're out already, but I'll make sure that there's a selection of things I can snack on in the house, so I don't always have to go for something which is not in line with my goals. Now, one of my mantras is there are no bad foods. There are just foods which take you further away from your overall goal of staying in a particular shape. So just make sure that there are some snacks which you do enjoy, which are less damaging to your overall goal, as well as the good stuff. The fourth and final thing is when you're thinking about adjusting your plates in line with your goal, think about what you can add to your plate as opposed to what you're taking away from it. Now, this is a big one. Lots of diets out there, lots of food plans, lots of regimes for getting in shape, in inverted commas. Focus on what you can't have, focus on what's banned. You need to flip that idea on its head if you want to have long-term success. Think about what you're going to add to your meal in order for it to be in line with your goals. If you have a pizza night, for example, if you're training with me, pizza night is not banned. Pizza night is not off the calendar. Pizza night still exists, but it's what you add to pizza night rather than what you take away from it. So think about what you're going to add to pizza night so that it becomes more in line with your goal to lose weight. For example, if you have a sloppy Giuseppe pizza from Pizza Express and you're used to having the whole pizza, if your goal is to lose weight, that might be adding a salad to your sloppy Giuseppe. That might be adding a starter of olives to your sloppy Giuseppe. It might be adding a couple of glasses of water where you might have had none to your meal, and then thinking about, well, how much of the sloppy Giuseppe do I actually need for my goals? If you've added the salad already, you might not feel too bad about only having a certain amount of the pizza that you would have had and putting the rest in the doggy bag. Again, it's not about denial, it's about adding the salad. Look forward to the salad, add more stuff, adding to your diet than taking away, and you start to think about other more exotic flavors you can add to your, if you like, palate rather than denying some of the stuff that you really like. You should be able to get to a place, or rather, we can get to a place where you still enjoy a lot of your foods, maybe in a slightly less amount. Well, let's be honest, definitely in a slightly less amount, but we don't miss it because we're adding other things which are going to get us to our goal. I hope that wasn't too wordy, and I hope that you found some benefit in this webinar. Thanks for watching, and again, if you'd like to go further and deeper and need my help, do please get in touch. Cheers.